Good morning, everyone. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Facebook Live. Good morning, Amazon Live. Good morning. Good morning, Twitch Live. Good morning, Rumble TV. Good morning to so many other platforms that have afforded me an opportunity to move forward in my broadcasting and simulcasting efforts. This morning is Sit Down Sunday, and I'm just going to say, Fear not. And I'm going to get right into our scripture chase exercise today. I'm not going to do a YouTube musical today. I'm going to go back and finish Saturday's R&B presentation. And I'm just asking that you guys take down your notations. I have 25 emergency numbers that I want to offer you guys. It's 25 emergency scriptures in certain times of need. And I'm going to read them off to you one at a time. And as you guys come in, I'm going to redirect you guys to where you can find the 25 emergency phone numbers that I'm going to give you directed from the Bible. Now, before we get into it, I want to give a special, just a mention, a prayer, and not that I've taken it into my own hands of any sort, but I just ask that the Most High covered both families of all the families of the children, all the adults that were carrying on amongst each other, whatever it was. Hopefully, that outburst that they had is all that they needed, because you don't never know where people are in life. So, who am I to judge? But just to recall some of the inboxes that I do get, I'm very grateful to answer in on any of the inboxes that you guys send me, and those inboxes that I send out personally. I'm grateful when you respond, and I take it to the Lord when you don't. So, with that being said, the only people responsible for God's children are the parents that the Most High God gave them to. Yes, we feel like you lose control, but at that point is when you need to seek out whatever authorities. And I have been having the honor of receiving a few parents coming to me and being able to sit down with their parents and their children. So I'm grateful for those opportunities to have them come over and fish through some of the things that I have and take what they need from out of my establishment, because that's what I do. Sometimes I do give $1 or two, a couple of dollars, because sometimes you never know. A young person just needs that couple of dollars. So I'm here on my end doing what I need to do. Now let's talk about some of the groups. Some of the groups that are 3 to 5 to 6 people showing up. People are extending different programs, and only a few people are showing up. Okay. Some people don't mesh well with others, and you would think that this would be the time that anybody, no matter what their difference would be within politics or not just politics, just personally. So some people don't want to work together. They don't mesh well. So they don't think they're going to get a great result by fiddling and fondling with those groups. Maybe that's why the turnout is only 3 to 5 to 6 people coming, because over here on my end, I embarked on a journey to follow in a footstep that one of my predecessors had. They're no longer a participant, but they let me know that there may be something there for me. And when I went there to become a coordinator in that group, I let them know from the rip, I'm not working with a team that that doesn't work. Hey, I'm not doing it. I'm not working with a team that I can't be my whole self in. Me establishing my own organization was for a purpose. I have my own people, as you would call it, and my people, maybe they're not a part of those 3 to 5 to 6 people that show up for the groups, because my people don't always do better or do their best around people that they can't work with. And it's a shame. And that's some of the divide, but it's a real divide. So you have to realize there's people on different parts of land, people on different parts of the world that are in significant places that they can help people. And there are still some people that don't want to work with Donald Trump, for instance. He could come here today or tomorrow and offer some type of solution. And some people that don't support Trump, for instance, they might not go to that particular rally. So, and when you find that within the community that 3 to 5 people are showing up to a cusp of a situation that could be better, then that tells you that you might have to offer other groups. And that's what I'm doing. I'm offering groups. I already have at least 47 people standing behind me. They're invisible to you guys, but they're definitely 100% behind me, including a whole company that I work for is prepared to show up and service under a peer scope, under a recovery scope, under a child line scope, under a youth division scope, under some youth inclusion and some adult inclusion, because a lot of times the adults are still our children. So some of the 30s are the roaring mothers today, and they still need parenting as well. So you get some parents, oh, she's 30 something years old. Yeah, that's my daughter, but them is her kids. So then them is your grandkids. So it's a trickle effect. And sometimes we don't want to hold ourselves accountable. We don't want to be a part of that. We're not getting involved because we seem to have our own family issues. And it's true. And it's true. But when it comes down to the smaller groups and the larger scale, yes, just like people went and voted for Kamala and some went and voted for Trump, they had separate rallies. Sometimes people cannot stand together for a common goal, and it can be that way. And so sometimes people start their own groups. Like myself, again, I have always been a part of the Crime Survivors Speaks. I've been a part of that through Dr. Dolphin's efforts. One day, a few years ago, I went to the march. I was there by myself with my organization because I haven't grown just yet, but now I'm 42 members in. Yes, I'm 42 solid members in. And no, we're not marching and we're not standing nowhere waiting on rocks and tomatoes and eggs to be thrown. We're accepting calls, and we're accepting them every day. And yes, I do have a schedule and events every day with a different family. I'm also embarking on visitation, supervised visitation for those that are losing grip and need somewhere to have a visit at. I've signed up for everything. So with my group, yeah, we're not comfortable standing with those 3 to 5 others, because if that's all y'all can get to come to you, then apparently they're not following your lead. Okay. So no, sometimes it just be the company you keep. I don't know. Maybe it's the company you keep. Because if every time certain people show up and only 3 to 5 people come, that should be telling you that not everybody wants to be bothered with everybody, even though everybody wants a common goal. It sounds two-sided, but it's a double edge. Yes, it is. And it is what it is. Now, me personally, I've opted out of every participation. I've opted to stand just like everyone else in front of their own establishment and their own group. Now, because some of you businesses don't have a tax ID, don't have no standing, don't have nothing but a little bit of people to stand with you, and them 3 to 5 people ain't showing up consistently, they're not wanting to stand with you. They want to stand for the cause, but they don't want to stand personally beside them. Like in the ranks when we pray, we stand ankle and elbow together. Right. And some people don't want to be bothered. Some of the people just don't want to be bothered with people personalities and different things, especially when you make it clear that you're there for your kids. I'm there for mine, and ain't none of mine even live in Harrisburg. So I didn't even base my programs around youth trajectory. But yes, the adult trajectory that I do have, they are interested. So yes, I allowed that to happen. But my organization is not really a child-based organization. It's for the adults. It's for my young mothers to come forward. Now, it was brought to my attention that whole getting jumped situation, the young man that got jumped and decided that he would go back and retaliate on one person. First of all, the questions lie. Where are the other 4 or 5 that jumped him? And who was the little girl that it was over? Miss Lily. There was a daughter named Zay, Lily. Whose daughter is that? Did anyone take the time to sit down? Yes, I've been on the trail looking for the young lady. I wanted to ask her, is she okay? And if it was revolving around her, what does she think really caused it? What actually happened? What could help to maybe save the other person's life? Now, he may get life or not, but it doesn't have to be such harsh or down on him. He defended himself. You got some adults out here that say if a child hit them, that they would kill the child too. What do you say to them adults that say that with such conviction? You got mothers out here that say if any of your kids do this and that to them, that they're going to kill your kids too. Do you feel any outrage about that? So there's a lot of things that we could go on and on about. But today, I brought you here to give you some emergency numbers. So on my scripture chase and sit down Sunday, I would like for you to take in consideration these scriptures. These are your emergency numbers. There are 25. I'm going to read them once, and I'm going to ask that you go back and scripture chase on your own. I will also put a picture of it in the comments. Emergency numbers. When in sorrow, John 14. When man fails you, Psalms 27. When you have sinned, Psalms 51. When you have weary, Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 to 34. When you are in danger, Psalms 91. When God seems too far away, Hebrews 139. When your faith needs staring, Hebrews 11. When you are lonely and fearful, Psalms 23. When you grow bitter and critical, 1 Corinthians verse 13. When you feel down and out, Romans chapter 8, verses 31 to 37. When you want peace and rest, Matthew chapter 11, verses 25 to 30. When the world seems bigger than God, Psalms 90. When what Christian assurance? When you want Christian assurance, Romans 8, verses 1 through 30. When you leave home for labor or travel, Psalms 131. When your prayers grow narrow and selfish, Psalm 67. When you want courage for a task, Joshua 1. To get along with your fellow man, Romans 12. If your pocketbook is empty, Psalms 57. If you want to be fruitful, John 15. For Paul's sacred and secret to happiness, Colossians chapter 3, verses 12 to 17. When you're looking and losing confidence in people, 1 Corinthians verse 13. If people seem unkind, John chapter 15. If discouraged about your work, Psalms 126. And lastly, when you start to find the world growing small and yourself great, Psalms 19. Available 24/7, phone service not required. Those are your emergency numbers to reach your God of your understanding on the main line. Now, I spoke on earlier about the situations, about the public officials that don't show, about these people that do this and do that. And when there's 5 to 3 to 6 to 7 people showing up for your efforts, every time you have to look at the group. And sometimes, and I hate to say it, but it is true, sometimes, obviously, people don't want to work with y'all. Sometimes they want to work with this one and that one, but there is always that one, sometimes that one guy or female. Some people just don't want to be bothered. Some people do. Some people are encouraged and inspired by them people. And there are some that are not. And that is to be accepted in these days. So therefore, I've branched off and I've created my own 501. I've been standing going on a solid 2 years. January on my birthday will make my anniversary for my nonprofit. And yes, I've never signed up for grants one time, and I only got denied because I didn't make it to one of the things. Now, with encouragement from Dauphin County, I will be reapplying on the next cycle, and I will get it because now I will go through the second part. So now I understand the process. But when I do receive on my receivership, it will be from the Office of Justice and Victims. That's who I work with. I don't work with the city of the individuals that are trying to make an effort, because some people will ignore your efforts. They don't appreciate you for your efforts. And so then leave them people where they are. Some people don't deserve to be in your presence. You can look at it that way. But you have some people that just genuinely see certain people standing there, just like it could be Donald Trump. If you see Kamala over here or Donald, most likely you're going to go to Kamala. If you see Obama and Trump standing there and they fighting for the same cause, you might more believe in Obama than you would Trump. So you might not go to Trump. But then will come a time where maybe everybody might have to stand over there, and you'll find some of us still at home just watching through the rearview mirror. Because there's some of us that make decisions for themselves. They're not easily encouraged by other people, and they definitely don't do what grown people tell them to do. Some people don't give a fuck about what you have to say. Some people could care less about what I do and what I say, but I have my 42 members and I'm a hold strong to them, 43 including me. And if I wanted to add my children, I'll just say 50. So my solid 50 that's standing, um, I put myself in front of an organization that I already stood with, and we're going to create our own chapter. And we're going to utilize the benefits just like everybody else that has a part of the chapter and everybody that wants to stand over there to continue. But if you notice people not showing up, they'll have another outlet to show up to, which would be on my end. And may the Most High continue to elevate that. And I'm going to go ahead and speak that into existence. Because not only will it be my organization, the Youth for Human Rights organization is international and they stand behind me as well. The Ways to Happiness is another international organization that stands behind me as well. So yes, I've put myself in positions. Now, um, there was an application process for GVI Harrisburg. I'm sure that if any of you said fine feathered pussyfoot ass motherfuckers applied for the job, because I guess it's a job, I saw the application process, um, then maybe they would hire you guys and then y'all could have a leg up. Y'all could get certified or whatever. But guess what? I seen what the certification is, and I can go to TIFLO at any time I want to and do it. So I could say that I'm GVI if I chose to. Now, will I go walking around outside and make myself a target? No, I will not. I'll continue to work as a peer to the GVI of York and anywhere else that is established at. Now, I hear it's established here, but I heard some of the members got established somewhere else and then came here. So there's a lengthy application process. They want you to come and stick your chest out, but then they want to run an exclusive interview with you in a long application process. Nobody wants to be a part of the police force or an application process as such, especially when they're standing there with their own knowledge and education. I guess whatever the GVI is teaching here in Harrisburg is not resonating because ain't nobody went and applied for the job and actually got hired. So there's a hiring process. It's not a volunteer where you go and just stand up and now you're a GVI. No, there's a hiring process. I saw it and some dumbass certification. So now you got to be certified to stand in the battlefield for somebody else's children. Okay, no. So I got a certification that says I can qualify for the aftermath. And if I can peep it beforehand and get my camera out and begin to record the incident, I can also go over and tap somebody on the shoulder and maybe fall all over the ground and have me a fit and say, stop. That's what's required here. So any adult that was there on any of the incidents where it could have been prevented, and you guys had front row seats and didn't even stick your arm in there and try to prevent it, what good could it have been if I would have showed up? There wouldn't have been no damn difference if Mayor Wanda would have been there. So those of you that keep bringing her up, Mayor Wanda can't go get y'all kids. Her kids turned out fantastic. Take her lead. They all have a job. They're all doing something with themselves. The grandchildren are also doing something with themselves. We all pour over into her family. We are cousins on the distance, and we're all political, and we're all doing something grateful and gracious for the community one way or the other. And just because we don't stand with the 3s, the 5s, and the 7s groups, because we don't want to stand with a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys have been past problems, and maybe the change ain't seen in you. Maybe the community don't see that change that they say they see. Some people can see me and be like, I'm not going to her church. She can't pray for me. Oh, she can't teach me nothing. And I can't say anything about that. All I can say is remember who I was. And I get that. But to get to know who I am today, I get a lot of phone calls and I definitely doing a lot of business here. And I haven't done a whole lot of hand laying or praying because I let them know that I'm not that type of pastor. Minister Glenn is not the pastoral person as some of you conventional, traditional persons. I'm not your person if you're looking for the tongues to be spit. I'm not your person, but I will give you scriptures because I lived through these certain things and I gave you 25 emergency numbers. Now, if you would like, I will go through them one more time because there's nothing wrong with giving you the information, the news that you can use. And I'm going to send you a picture then after, and you could use these in your daily living. The emergency numbers to call on a higher power, higher than yourself. The emergency numbers when in sorrow. John 14. When man fails you. Psalms 27. When you have sinned. Psalms 51. When you have worry. Matthew 6, verse 19 to 34. When you are in danger, Psalms 91. When God seems far away, Hebrews 139. When your faith needs staring, Hebrews 31. When you are lonely and fearful, Psalms 23. When you grow bitter and critical, First Corinthians verse 13. When you feel down and out, Romans chapter 8, verse 31 through 37. When you want peace and rest, Matthew chapter 11, verse 25 to 30. When the world seems bigger than God, Psalms 90. When you want Christian assurance, Romans 8, verse 1 to 30. When you leave home for work or travel, Psalms 121. When your prayers grow narrow and selfish, Psalm 67. When you want courage for a task, Joshua 1. When you want to get along with your fellow man or woman, Romans 12. For a great intervention or an opportunity, Isaiah 55. When you want Paul's secret for happiness, you go to Colossians 3, verse 12 through 17. If you want to be fruitful, John 15. If your pocketbook is empty, come on, Psalms 37. If you're losing confidence in people, First Corinthians 13. If people seem unkind, John 15. If discouraged about your work, Psalms 126. And if you find the world growing small and yourself getting great, Psalms 19. Those are your emergency numbers to reach your higher authority. And with that being said, I would like to just say, I took these little 20-something minutes with you guys this morning. Excuse me. And I'm going to end it with that. And again, if anybody wanted to help or send the young lady Lily over to Aunt Lisa, send her over and she can have a private conversation with me as to what started the fight. What was it that encouraged the jumping to happen? Because what I heard, and everybody needs to be held accountable, not just the shooter and the family of the shooter encouraging that young man to turn himself in. The young people that jumped the young man, the parents that lost that young man. Where are the other children that did the jumping? Will they be held accountable? And lastly, whose daughter is the young lady that this was so-called revolved around? Because yes, people come to me all the time, and it was brought to my attention under the HIPAA law that there's a young lady that had to be the root of this fight. There was some rejection. Come on forward. If you angry about what I'm saying, come on forward, little Lily. Zay Lily, get your mama and y'all come forward. Let's talk about this fight, baby. What happened? Yes. And I am the authority before the authority. So be careful and mindful on how you react and how you respond. Where is the young lady that caused the jumping to happen? Okay? Because there is 3 plus them other little people that did the jumping. The parents need to talk to them and bring them forward. You guys can all meet me where you're at. Let me know and I will be there. I don't have a group of people. Just call Auntie and I will be there for you. And trust and believe me, I am one step from the authority. Anything you say with me stays with me. I'm just making it public that I know about it. And if there's a Miss Young Lady named Zay, Lily, Aunt Lisa's right here. They're saying it's because of you, baby. The last thing a young lady needs is to feel like she is the blame. So if there is a blame being placed on somebody's daughter, come on, God, reveal it. Bring them to me. Yeah, bring them to me. No judgment zone. You in a biased area with me, no judgment. I don't have no personal attachments or no direction. So therefore, as Minister Glenn and certified peer, I'm calling on you, young lady. If this fight was because of you, baby, and you don't trust your mother or your grandmother or somebody, you don't have nobody. You and your girls come to me and tell me what happened. Yeah, because it was said that it was because of you, baby, that they jumped that boy in the first place. Okay, some rejection. You know, everybody ain't gonna like everybody. These kids need to know that, and there's a better way that y'all could have went about that. And I gave y'all 25 reasons to call on the God. And if you can't reach God directly, you're more than welcome to call me or come on in front of me. I'm here with a peaceful heart, and I'm here with a safe place, and I'm here under the HIPAA law. If there's anything that you want to share, including what started the jumping in the first place. Nobody's angry. Don't be afraid. Just come forward. It is your right to speak if you are being accused. And the last thing that another life needs is to be taken, whether it be to jail or to death. So, young girl, if you cause that fight, baby, and you can't stop guys from fighting, I get it. But if you was the seed that planted that in the idea, then you and the other 3 to 5 young people that jumped that young man, y'all need to get together and come on over here. That's right, because it could cost you your life. Let's go. I'm telling you this directly. Now, I am your next step before the authorities. Yes, I'm mandated to report. So if I find out, Miss Lily, that your parents know anything about it, not only will I be turning you in, baby, I'm going to turn your mama in too. Okay? So if you cause that fight, baby, come on over here and let's talk about it before the cops come. I'm one doctor before the police, and you better ask about me. I'm telling you the truth. I'm one damn decision away from Carter. Okay? So now, if you don't want to be pulled out your house or out of school, come on in front of me. Get your mama and y'all come on over here and talk to the queen so I can help y'all asses. That's all I have. Now I'm going to let y'all go. There is a new group coming. The Hands of Care is involved with the crime survivors. I'm becoming a coordinator and chapter of our own. My people will be taking the certifications as well. I have 3 other individuals in my group that are also going to take the coordination because it's required. And I'm looking for maybe 2 more that might want to get underneath of me and go take the certifications and become a coordinator as well. Becoming a coordinator is a requirement for your organization to be adopted into the crime survivors. There are some already open here in Harrisburg, and obviously, I'll leave that be. They have their own group going on, and we'll be on the same similar team. But I have a private organization, and we're not attacking nobody, but we're not partnering neither. So that's where we're at. I'm not partnering with nobody that don't understand what my certifications stand for or what I stand for because of what I might say or what I might do. You go the fuck on and get away from me because I won't be standing with none of y'all. I have a group, and we are becoming equally. And yes, we do associate with York, and I will go personal to York and talk to them about being involved. Other than that, take your asses down to City Hall and apply for the job. It's a job. It's a GBI job. Do you qualify for the job? Yeah, a lot of people can't make the background because of you persons out there that are getting involved, including myself. I have an old background. My background don't have child endangerment charges and stuff on it. So in order to work with children, you kind of can't have that kind of background. So if you coming from that kind of background or your background history has those type of charges, some people don't respect who you are, and they're not going to stand in a group effort with you because they see you as a predator, just like the ones that are predatory. So that's where I'm at. I can't stand with the rapists because I've been raped and assaulted. I can't stand nowhere near child abuse group interventions with someone that was maybe a man that beat and killed their own kids or a woman that got child welfare charges of their own. Who wants to stand in them people's presence other than the ones that stand in there? The ones that stand in there are some forgiving spirits. Some of us don't have it. We just don't have it. And with that being said, you guys have a very beautiful afternoon. I was trying to get up to 30 minutes and I did just that. And with that being said, you guys go back and take a look at the emergency numbers that I set out for you. They're all scriptures for my scripture chasers. And you guys have a great day. Again, Miss Young Lady Lily, Zay Lily, your parents, you guys are welcome to stop over here and have a talk with me because you are now being blamed for the reason for the jumping in the first place. So if somebody left that out the story here, I just figured I would add that. Now, you guys have a great day. Mwah. 6, 5, 4,
Three, two, one. 30 minutes. The end. Yes.